Back to the Making the Madness YouTube channel. This is Jonathan here to break down the news as Georgia Tech is going to return its best shooter, its 3-and-D wing player. It is Mike DeVoe. He is deciding to return to Georgia Tech for his senior season. A little bit surprising, but it could be a hint for things to come in the future. Of course, Moses Wright, obviously the ACC Player of the Year, has decided to head out to the NBA, but Jose Alvarado is still in the draft-making decision. I think at this point, with Mike DeVoe coming back, there is a chance Jose Alvarado decides he's going to, essentially just run it back. And, for Georgia Tech heading into this season, that would be huge. Obviously, getting Mike DeVoe back, though, that ensures that they will at least have one elite scorer of their three-head monster back, which is very important. You look at DeVoe, he's a prototypical 6'5", 3-and-D wing. He shot 40% from three, is always heavily guarded, always, teams look at him and they're saying, this guy can knock down shots. So getting that type of guy back in the rotation is certainly going to be big for Georgia Tech. He was certainly big in Georgia Tech's ACC championship run. He had a big championship game and led them to the upset against Florida State. Looking at elsewhere at the roster, obviously Jose Alvarado is kind of the big question mark. He is hinted towards potentially coming back. We obviously can't know for sure, but if he did decide he's going to come back, that would obviously be huge. Elsewhere on the roster, Jordan Usher, Bubba Parham are both, seniors. Both of them are still able to come back. We'll see about that. They also have Khalid Moore. He's someone, 6'7", I think can probably step in on the wing. Maybe they ask him to play some small ball five. Moses Wright wasn't necessarily a true five-man, very athletic kind of four-man. They also have Rodney Howard, who I think can step in and play the five as well. That's kind of what you'll see out of the five position heading into next season. Kyle Studervant, I think I pronounced that correctly. He was someone that kind of came on late in the season, had a nice ACC championship game. You can expect him to get minutes. I'd say you look at a starting lineup, if Alvarado is back, maybe Alvarado, Studervant, Mike DeVoe, Khalid Moore, or Jordan Usher, whichever, depending upon if Usher decides to return. If not, it'll probably be Khalid Moore. And then Rodney Howard probably at the five. I think that's a solid rotation, especially if Alvarado is back. They are obviously losing a lot with Moses Wright heading to the NBA, but this was a team, even with Moses Wright heading to the, not even playing in the NCAA tournament, they still pushed Loyola Chicago, and that was a very good Loyola Chicago team. They pushed them harder than Illinois pushed them. So, this is still, I think, a very good team. Hanging next season, if Alvarado returns, I think they're a tournament team. If Alvarado's not back, you should expect Kyle Studervant to take a big step forward. But one thing remains certain. Mike DeVoe is back, and with him coming back, you have an elite shooter. You have at least one guy you can say, give him the ball, he's going to knock down shots. That's what Mike DeVoe is, and that's a very important asset to have on your team. So it's going to be interesting to see what Alvarado ultimately decides to do. But, future looks a little bit brighter than it did going into last year. Coming into last year, there wasn't a lot of, talk about Georgia Tech having high expectations. They somewhat overachieved, had a good late year run, obviously won the ACC, and now we're going into this season. Obviously, they might lose. They lost Moses Wright. They might lose Jose Alvarado. But this is a program that I think is rebuilt pretty well. They've added some solid incoming recruits: Jalen Moore, Debo Coleman, Miles Kelly. Coleman and Kelly are both 4-star commits. Moore is a 3-star. So those are solid additions. I think Kyle Studervant could have a breakout season. This is a Georgia Tech team I think heading into this season should have some high expectations, and at least for the future. Even if this season doesn't necessarily go fantastic for them, I think they're going to be, in the NCAA tournament more consistently. I think Josh Pastner has kind of finally figured things out with this team, and look for Georgia Tech to, at least can be in the contention for the NCAA tournament with Mike DeVoe back, with Jose Alvarado back. I think they're a clear NCAA tournament team. Thanks again for tuning in to Making Madness on YouTube. We will continue to roll out, these videos breaking down, players who decide to return to college basketball. It's certainly big for the teams. So until then, stay tuned.